Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Without Ash this morning, I am Brent. Commander Cody is in the studio. Cody's your mic hot? Let's see. Try it now.
Howdy.
There you go, Commander.
Hey,
Cody.
the W and the C still work today.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and you can look up right there's Cody Cam. There's Cody.
How y'all doing today?
He's there. Cody is what I call no budget AI. That's our version of AI sitting right there. Ricky King, first one in. Greg Garcia, Scott Tomko. Three fantastic, reliable, consistent listeners, followed by Amanda King. Mandy's already off working somewhere. Crystal Mapp, Scott Snow, Linda Chris, Bobby Leister, Mark Kurtz, Tammy Keeling, Zed Stewart. Hi, Zed. Ryan Hopping, Marvin Mickish Jr. There's John Anderson over in the Carolinas. Good morning, brother. Rena Shear, family right there. Rena. Stephanie Connie, Patrick Strauss, Lisa Poole. There you go. Awesome. Glad you guys are all in. A lot to cover today. Handful of things, the top stories. And then, of course, we're going to have I'm going to field all your questions, whatever you want regarding the school bond. Micah Patton is in the green room right now. He's on his second martini.
Right.
I don't know exactly. He's going to come in quite lubricated, and I'm sure will be very eager to share.
Well, he said he had to walk through the mass of people outside.
Well, he said there were protesters outside. No bond. So we'll see. I'm going to get to that. I think some of the hilarity of the left, not that being anti-bond is left, but the hilarity of the left is one of the top stories of the day. The Wade and Carter weather is brought to you by our terrific friends at AT Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there's Deerland Feed. I'm getting the random grass burr on the doodles.
How is Riker, by the way?
The Riker is fantastic.
He's
just such a stud dog. But he'll go outside, and when he comes back in, every now and then he'll have in the little pads of his feet because they're so curly and hairy. He's the loop for the Velcro of the sticker. And the Balon is a fantastic pre-emergent. It is not a weed killer. It's a weed preventer. So you have to apply it, and then 45 days later, put it down again. And we've got most of it beat back, but it does need. You can pick that up at Deerland Feed. Balon. 77 degrees in Victoria, Texas, under sunny skies, heading to a high today of 89. So I'm going to jump right in. I think the top story of the day yesterday, aside from the romance, the bromance between King Charles and our own Donald Trump, I think the top story is probably the indictment, the indictment again of James Comey. The former FBI director being indicted. You may recall, I guess now it was a couple of years ago. Well, it was probably like in 25, that James Comey was on the beach. He had been indicted once before. I think was exonerated. And he's on the beach, and he's got the number 8647 in seashells. And when you're in law enforcement, 86, if you 86 somebody, you had to shoot him. 1086, I think that would probably mean there's a man down. There was a shooting. Somebody's been killed. The indictment to me is on several levels. One, it's Trump showing tit for tat. You guys endlessly harassed me over nothing, so I'm going to harass you. I think that's childish. I think that's irresponsible. I think it's a waste of taxpayer dollars. And at the same time, James Comey is a man who clearly has no common sense.
Right.
You're a guy that you know that you're in the crosshairs of the president of the United States, and you mock him in public. To me, you get what you have coming. So I kept trying to find the basis by which we would indict this guy because it's a freedom of speech issue, right? I mean, Madonna said, I wish somebody would go in and just blow up the White House. But, you know, the left still adores Madonna. So the left, no doubt, will rally behind James Comey. Cody, did you find anything? So right here it says, threatening the life of the President of the United States will never be tolerated by the Department of Justice.
Right.
Todd Blanche, Attorney General Todd Blanche, said yesterday, over the past year, this department has charged dozens of cases involving threats against all sorts of individuals. We take these seriously, every single one of them. Comey was also charged with a count related to threatening criminal conduct across state lines, you know, yada, 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 right? So he's on the beach in Atlantic City or wherever, and, you know, he's now in the president's in D.C., so we can get him there. And it always comes back to me about we're going to get Al Capone on tax charges. You know, that's what we're doing. But Comey says, well, they're back this time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago. Nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary. So let's go. Now, Donald Trump says a child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination, and it says it loud and clear.
Yeah, one of the things that we were discussing about this before was that there is this level of free speech, but free speech doesn't protect you against just everything that you could ever say, right? Like
that's right. You can't scream fire in a movie.
Exactly theater. Right. And I think that's what this comes down to. Threats against the president are illegal according to U.S. Federal Code 871. It says 18 U.S. Code, and there's this weird squiggle S thing, and then 871. So
in 1969's Watts versus the United States, the Supreme Court established that the state must prove that words constituted a true threat to bring a conviction. It was an anti-war protester. Alan Watts was convicted of making threats against the president. He said, if they ever make me carry a rifle, the first man I want to get in my sights is LBJ. Okay. So they said that, I don't know the court reversed Watts' conviction, finding that the statement was protected political speech rather than a true threat. So I think you've got to it goes to intent. Does James Comey intend to kill the president? I think the answer is clearly no. And as a result, I have a feeling he will, be exonerated. And I also don't believe that Donald Trump is afraid that James Comey is going to kill him. But it also greatly echoes when I say Trump plays chess while people watch checkers. This is along the same lines of, so you're going to say that James Comey in no way could incite some nut job, of which we already know of at least 3. He could not incite some nut job to kill the president, but somehow President Donald Trump's speech on January 6th incited a whole crowd of people to go crazy and storm the Capitol. So James Comey is going to get off because he's going to say, are you kidding me? I didn't even incite one person. And yet the same people that are clamoring for him to get off are the ones that say Donald Trump made all those people go crazy with his words. So it's the hypocrisy of the left that always exposes them, which is exactly why Donald Trump sued him, to expose the hypocrisy. And by doing so, he will further exonerate himself from any connection to January 6th. Ricky King wants to know if I'm ready for this weekend. You bet I will be in Port O'Connor on Thursday night for a wonderful dinner And on Friday, we'll be fishing. It's a Purple Heart fishing tournament. The people that's how many of them there are. The people that are going to be there are all Purple Heart recipients. And we're going to be there. It's going to be great. Donnie and I are going down. There's Vance Riley, Greg Garcia.
Is this weekend the No Fools Rally?
No, that's the 9th.
The 9th. That's
the
right.
9th is going to be the No Fools Rally and protest. You're welcome to come and protest. You can, I would call Jill Buchanan and see if we could come to her garage and make some certain signs. You can protest anything you want. Take your little crayons and your paper and your coloring book and go over there and make you some signs to protest. We're technically protesting hunger in our community effectively. Ash and I just spoke an event into being, and we're going to serve free breakfast tacos and encourage you. It's not going to be a trade. We're not bartering with you. Bobby Leister already brought, Cody, the number 10 cans.
Yeah, the big ones.
He brought 3 cases.
Nice.
Green beans, corn, and peaches. And I can assure you that the green beans and the corn are going to make it to Christ's Kitchen. Then peaches might end up on some Bluebell. You know what I'm saying in there? I think that might be the deal. Greg Garcia says, James Comey is the very definition of low T male. He blamed the incident on his wife. Stephanie Connie says, I don't think this is tit for tat. It is past time these people are held accountable. Comey has broken so many laws. He literally tried to subvert the people's will. The left is about inciting violence and acting like they're not. Okay, so you guys in general agree with me. That's fine. Andrew Evers says, in my opinion, it wasn't a threat, just a rant. However, his rant opinion could do exactly what you said and incite violence, even if by one person. I think it's more likely that James Comey, as the director of the FBI, gets one lone patriot to go take a shot at the president than that Donald Trump incited a mob. So, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no kid. Patrick John Welder points out this Cole Allen, the guy that tried to, they say he was trying to kill the president. He was a nut job, checked into the Hinckley Hilton the day before, loaded himself up with guns, came down the stairwell and walked into the arena, walked into the lobby and started shooting people. The left seems to think that guy just can't wait. He can't wait to spend his life in prison. Bruce Woods with a great question. For the rally, May 9th, early morning, 7:30 start, probably be handing out tacos by 7:30. He says, we don't have pre-printed protest signs being delivered. Soros has not contacted me and is not interested. Oh, Scott Tomko wants to know about peach cobbler. Yeah.
Now, Scott could bring a peach cobbler
He could do it.
to the rally.
Yes. Bruce Wood says, instead of pallets of bricks on the 9th, how about pallets of food being delivered? What we're going to do is we're going to serve the breakfast tacos to anybody that wants them. I'm hopeful that we can get somebody there also to set up a table and help folks register to vote. I haven't reached out to anybody yet for that. If you know who I should reach out to, please let me know. We'd love to do that. And I don't care who you vote for, as long as you vote. I think that'd be great. Let's see, 5 takeaways. I'm going to go to the BBC. The BBC. They're saying they refer to King Charles' address of Congress as historic. I guess it's historic because it hasn't happened since 1992. But King Charles came in and said the current state of U.S. and U.K. relations is strained, but that he also said that there needs to be reconciliation and renewal because the relationship is incredibly important. He says admitting there's a problem is the first step to recovery. Charles, as you know, used to hang out at Studio 54. If anybody knows the concept of admitting you have a problem before you can fix it, it would be Cocaine Charlie. With the spirit of 1776 in our minds, we can perhaps agree that we don't always agree. He's very excited to be here. He did issue a warning. I thought this was interesting. King Charles noted that executive power subject to checks and balances was a British legal tradition enshrined in the Magna Carta, which became a bedrock principle of the U.S. Constitution. He got another standing ovation with a twist. The cheers started on the Democrat side before spreading to the entire room. Trump's critics have frequently denounced the president for what they see as his abuse of power. America's words carry weight and meaning as they have since independence. The actions of this great nation matter even more. So he talked about NATO. Let's see what he said. Trump has derided the British Navy, long a source of pride for the kingdom. He called their ships toys and said their aircraft carriers didn't work. King Charles, who served 5 years in the Royal Navy, made a specific mention of his time in the service. He says, from the depths of the Atlantic to the disastrously melting ice caps of the Arctic, the commitment and expertise of the United States Armed Forces and its allies lie at the heart of NATO, pledged to each other's defense, protecting our citizens and interests, keeping North Americans and Europeans safe from our common adversaries, which would be Russia and China. He made no mention at all of Epstein's files. Of course, his brother, much maligned and certainly in the files that have been released already. He did go on and say at one point, Christian faith is a firm anchor and daily inspiration. And he mentioned that as a comment about something that the UK and the US have in common. I thought that was interesting. And the left cheered. I just find it hilarious that the people that brought you the No Kings rally just fawn over this guy because of his celebrity. I mean, it's just the latest, the most recent and most obvious fact that their hypocrisy knows no bounds and it absolutely is the foundation of their party. The biggest way to tell that you're talking to a leftist is to deal with his hypocrisy, because it's just always flamingly on display.
Is that a Brent Carter quote, or is that
I think I first coined that hypocrisy is the tell of the left. It would have been years ago, but it's unable to be refuted. You can't draw me a correlation where you say, well, no kings. And then you turn around and go, well, wait, but that works for them. I mean, they can have a king. Right. Where is their outrage on behalf of the British citizen? They have none. They're like, oh, look, that's King Charles. He's royalty. Donald Trump, who's never portrayed himself as a king in any way, gets labeled a king, misogynist, fascist, Nazi, pedophile, rapist, you name it. All those things come up. If you disagree with a leftist, you're a rapist. If you disagree with a leftist woman, you're misogynistic or sexist. If you disagree, then you're, it just goes on and on and on. If you disagree with a liberal, you've got some type of stigma put on you. And then when the same person shows up here, King Charles, neutered of power as he may be, is still just fawned upon. Oh, look, it's the king. It's the king. It's the king. They are sick, mindless, godless people. Very interesting. The United Arab Emirates leaving OPEC effective May 1st. This is a big deal. There's 12 members in, let's see, I think that's right, 12 members in the group, of which UAE was the number 3 producer, 3.6 million barrels per day, 12% of the group's total output. The country now aims to produce 5 million barrels a day by 27. So interesting. Saudi Arabia is already strained over differing policies on Israel and Yemen. This is going to change up the makeup. Something else, I just thought the numbers were staggering and worth sharing with you. We've all talked about OxyContin. We've all talked about Purdue Pharma, which is involved in a lawsuit over opioids, $225 million forfeiture to the Justice Department, and a broader deal that could reach $7 billion over 15 years. Purdue, the pharma maker, will also be dissolved and replaced by a new company, NOA, K-N-O-A, NOA Pharma. They got that name by saying, are you going to keep producing OxyContin? And he said, NOA, we are not. This is what's interesting, Cody. Opioid overdoses killed about, this is coming from 1440. Opioid overdoses killed about 806,000 people in the U.S. from 99 to 23. In 2023, 76% of U.S. drug overdose deaths involved opioids. An average of 217 people a day were dying on opioids. First of all, I didn't know there were that many people, honestly, in chronic pain. So you got chronic pain, prescriptions, opioids. Wow. And 217 a day died. Very interesting. A lot. Jimmy Kimmel under fire. Jimmy Kimmel referred to the first lady as an expectant widow.
He just can't keep his mouth shut.
Well, it's his job, right? Like, hey, here's a peek behind the curtain. Sometimes I say things here, quite often I say things here that aren't me personally. I love it when someone attacks me for those comments, because if you ever notice, when I say something like really outrageous, in general, Ash is standing next to me talking the other side of that pancake. And people just go, that Carter's a loose cannon. Well, no, you're just stupid. But at the end of the day, did I say that out loud? No, you're just stupid. You know, you don't get it that it's he takes position A, I take position B. It's like watching a free debate. But Jimmy Kimmel, in his idea of free speech, like there's just things that just kind of make you cringe. And you shouldn't, to me, I'm not sure it should be illegal, but it should be something that people don't support. The market, the free market, should turn its back on Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, and they have one other time, and then he came back.
Yeah, but he tries to be more and more outrageous in order to get more and more clicks, if you will. Bad tornado yesterday in Mineral Wells, Texas. 80 miles west of Dallas. The storm struck a broad stretch of the town's industrial area and multiple homes. There is video, drone footage, drones making it very, very accessible to see what happens. And I mean, there's a beautiful home like the roof is like this, and then the middle swath is just gone. And all you see is like lumber laying everywhere, like toothpicks. Huge pool, beautiful homes, roofs ripped off. Mineral Wells paying a price. Let's take a quick break, and then we're going to be joined by really the meat of the program. I want Micah Patton to come in, and we will visit with him. Good morning, Torrin Bales. Yeah, and Ricky King, yes, King Charles is a climate guru, which, you know, we know that's just – everybody's got to have something.
Is Micah out there finishing his toddy, or what does he do?
Third martini. It's going to be like talking to Dean Martin. Oh, goodness. I don't know.
His voice is kind of sultry like Dean Martin's.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Micah Patton.
Everybody loves somebody. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Allen's be your go-to tow-to. Allen's Wrecker Service inviting you to give them a call when you have a towing issue. Fantastic folks, fair prices. Allen's Wrecker Service is the best of the best of the best, and they have the equipment you need up to and including a 75-ton crane to pick up your next need. Veracruz Restaurant, today is Caldo Wednesday. Get into Veracruz today for a steaming hot bowl of caldo de res beef stew. You will like it. And if you don't, you can pay for it and get out. Veracruz, great spot, great food, great family. Get in and see them. USA Foundation Repair, 578-HOME. Let Charlie Garcia and the Singing Cowboys come out and level your home. If it's on pier and beam, it's easy. They shim it. It's not expensive. They can make your doors close again and seal the cracks in your sheetrock. If it's on if it's on a slab, it's a little more work, but they're really good at it. Give them a call. 578-HOME. Went services. While you're at it, go ahead and install a whole house generator. Brings the value of your home up. Nothing shows that you care about your property like having an entire house generator. It gives people peace of mind. It can do that for you. Went services can make that happen. Paravita Wellness. Get in and get healthy. Let Erica Briggs help you meet your dietary goals. I'm gluten-free. I'm high protein, low carb, high fat, whatever. She can do it. Go by and see Erica today. They're on Airline near the corner of Airline and Laurent, which is one of our many French boulevards, because this is such a
refined
destination. So we're joined by our friend and yours.
Friend seems like a big word.
Yeah, that's a stretch. A friend could be. To some, you know what? You're nobody till somebody hates you. You know, so here you are. You're somewhat the poster child for this $240 million bond being put forth, not proposed, but being made available to be voted upon by VISD. The bond being a result of 43-member community-based folks that studied the needs of the district as presented by the district and decided these are the highlights. These are what we need to fix. Most of this bond, all of this bond is about structures, not teachers, not sports facilities, not extracurricular activities. Everything in this $240 million bond is about repairing and adjoining some schools. We're going to, for example, tear down Stroman, which cost us a bunch of money. We're going to move O'Connor over to Torres. We're not creating super schools, on and on and on. So, Micah, take a minute, tell folks some of the things you've run into and maybe set aside some of the issues as you see them.
Wow. Thank you.
Welcome, sir, by the way.
Hey, glad to be here. Thank you. You've listened. You did a great synopsis, and that was it. Thank you, Brent. I'm out. You're good.
And there you have it, folks.
There you go. No, I think earlier you referred to me as the meat of the program. I would prefer the high protein.
Right. Okay. I'm
with you. I felt a little attack there. Right.
Such a liberal.
Right. This feels attacked.
I'm sorry. I'm on my second cup of coffee.
Is that what it was?
There you go.
Hey, there's olives all over the floor. He tried to open that jar of olives, and they went everywhere. The pimentos, people are slipping on them out there.
There you go. The refined part of the
Grab a handrail. Grab a handrail.
Hey, I'm excited. It's been an amazing process. Right? It started last June, last May. And it's been great, and it's needs. It's needs. It's an investment in our most recent structures because they're 16 years old, and we need to make sure that they last. Obviously, 75 years.
Right.
I mean, that's our starting point. Is we want structures that last, and so it's a great opportunity. Has there been opposition? Absolutely. You would expect it. Has everybody invested the time and effort? Do they have the time and effort to invest? Make yourself aware. Make yourself aware of what's coming. There's a lot of differing opinions. Very few differing opinions on what the needs are.
Right.
But there's different opinions about how to get there, or what's the legal way to do it, or can we change this or change that? And those are outside the scope of what your bond action committee, what your school board, what your school district can control. I mean, that's not within the scope of that. So.
I think it's worth pointing out that you've always got a group of people, and rightfully so. In general, I fall into this group of people. I don't want to be taxed. I don't like new taxes. I don't like it when my property value goes up to facilitate more tax money to the county or the city or the school district. So you're going to have those people, and you say, well, we need to fix this chiller and this roof, and doing nothing is still expensive because we have to insure Stroman, and we're constantly putting Band-Aids on O'Connor, and they don't acknowledge, well, if we move the O'Connor kids to Torres, well, guess what? I mean, the school board would never say this, but, well, I get to get rid of one group of admin people. I don't have to have that principal and those assistant principals. And some of those teachers will come but I can cherry pick the best of the best and bring them with me. And I only have to make sure one kitchen works, and I only have to have so many cafeteria workers. I mean, there's savings, there's synergy in this use of the word consolidation. And I know that's not the right word. We don't use that word in school districts because it takes you back to past sins of past school boards. But at the end of the day, there's savings by doing that, and it's unavoidable that doing nothing is still quite expensive.
It is. I mean, it is quite expensive. And, you talked about going back. We'll go back. Let's go back. We have 5 structures right now that VISD operates that are in their 70s. They're 70 years old plus, so almost 75. 5. What if the community in 1950 had done the same thing that's transpiring right now?
Right.
I mean, they built all these structures in the 50s. So there was a tax.
There was quite
a
commitment.
There was a commitment. I mean, the bond structure in Texas has been the way to finance school constructions. So, come up with a plan to change it. I'm on the school board. I'm not at the state level.
Right. You're not a legislator.
I can only operate within that system.
Well, that has been my question. System. How do we fix the things we need to fix right now? I literally had a very nice lady, as far as I can tell, Amy Teal. She's she's at the state level, anti-bonds. Bonds are a ripoff. So that there's that group of people. All taxation is theft. I asked her, how much would you raise today to solve the problems that we need to solve, and how would you do so? Her first response to me was, honestly, start a GoFundMe account.
Okay.
Let's just do that and see how many $2 million chillers we can repair.
The school district does not have a GoFundMe. But we do have the Community Connection Center, which receives donations from community members and churches and supports our families and students. In that way, it has a food closet. It has jackets for the winter. It has backpacks when you need one. So we do operate the Community Connections. We have the Education Foundation. I think we all enjoyed Roger Krager not too long ago. That is a nonprofit group that operates within the ISD, and they raise money for teacher and student scholarships. So, you can make donations to the school district in that way. You can make a donation to a building structure if you want to donate an air conditioner. You can do that. I mean, we'll not accept anything, but we're talking about millions of dollars, and we have 28 facilities. There's 20 academic facilities, and this bond proposal touches 18 of them. So it's a huge scope and scale of a project, and it's needed.
What do you say to the people who say, well, maybe you should have just touched 10 of them this time?
There was 43 community members that came up with 18. There's 43.
So it doesn't make any sense to ask them if you don't listen to them.
But I mean, I think I could name all 18.
Well, I was going to say,
don't test me.
Worth noting here, though, Andrew Alvarez points out a group that we dubbed the Hateful Eight. That's the Democrat Party in Victoria.
Okay.
The Hateful Eight are posting everybody's name that was on the Bond Action Committee. Now, here's a common comment from a guy that I really respect.
Hold on. The Bond Action Committee has been we were publicly appointed.
Well, but now the left is trying to dox those people.
And there's a PAC, and the PAC, I think, just sent out mailers with all their names. So
Greg Garcia's a guy that I know well, respect, believe, and has the best interest of the community at heart. Greg says, taxes are outrageous as it is. You have to understand that citizens are hesitant to approve a bond when they already pay too much as it is. In the same breath that I agree with him, you pay taxes.
I'm a taxpayer.
How do we fix what needs to be fixed right now that needs to be fixed now? The bond is out in May so that repairs can be done this summer to get the schools ready for next year. You can't wait till November because you need the money now. If you need the money now, your transmission goes out on your truck and you don't have the $10,000 to fix it. What do I do to get the money now? What other avenue besides a bond does the school district have?
The school district has a savings account. It absolutely does. That savings account funds operations.
By law, too,
By
right?
law, yeah, there's a requirement. Those checks that come into the school district don't come in all in one day, right? They're staggered. But the payments have to go out as well. So, there's that. But that's not enough to do all of this. It could do one, but it's going to be one every year for the next 20 years. I mean, there's a balance.
So clear up something for me.
Yeah.
Different items are being amortized and paid off throughout this bond based on their longevity. Like a building might be on there for the whole 30 years, but an AC system may just be on there for 15 years.
Well, I mean, not even. I mean, it'll be shorter. I mean, we talked about this publicly as a board in our workshops. But yeah, we live in your world. We're just citizens of Victoria like y'all are. We understand that you don't want to finance an air conditioner that could fail in 5 years for 30 years.
Right.
Like, I understand that. Like, hey, I wouldn't do it at my house. Would you do it at yours?
No,
probably not.
I hope not.
Yeah. But I would look and say, hey, how do we manage the life cycle? How do I'll give you a great example. We talked about it. Shields Elementary School has 20 plus year old HVACs on top of the roof. They're 20 plus years, 25, 26 years old. Obviously, somebody's been maintaining them to keep them running for that long.
Right. Jim Davidson. Dan Davidson is who's doing that.
They've been there. We don't need to reuse them anywhere. They're 20 plus years old. They've far exceeded their normal life cycle. But there are like 5 units that are about 5 years old. Hey, they're brand new. They're already paid for. They're just sitting there and they're working. So, I mean, we understand life cycles. We understand finance. We've studied it. We've talked about it. And there's different parts of this bond. The security and lighting, I think, is estimated around $4.5 million, right? And that's because we've got new structures, new fencing, new things going in. We've got additions, we've got changes. So you're going to have security. You're going to have lighting. You're going to have these things.
Right.
But that's a short-term $4.5 million finance.
Tammy Williams says, let's talk about how much Super Sheila has saved Victoria in the years she's been here. This, hiring her was the best sound decision.
It's one of the decisions I'm most proudest of. She has reinvigorated the team. She has focused the team. We talked about all the improvements that we've seen in the 18 months. She focused the group. The team effort was tremendous, but she said, hey, these are the things that we need to accomplish in order to make these improvements, because that's how we're measured. That's how the school district's measured. Here's the measure stick, whether we like the measure stick or not, whether we like that, hey, the test scores are reflective of how improved the district are.
Right.
Whether we like that or not, that's the measuring stick. That's what we had to operate.
100%. You got to teach
she
to
focused
the
team,
expectation.
right? She focused the team. She comes in with a plan. The team puts a tremendous amount of effort from teachers, admin, staff, everybody into achieving those goals. And the change occurred. The improvements occurred.
Right.
Had things been as far and as bad as we thought they were, maybe not. Maybe the things weren't as bad. But she came in with a plan and a focus and charged the team with that task.
Well, I would tell you that I'm very proud, and I know you are as well, but just to clear up, I'm very proud of the administrative at the campus level, the teachers, the focus that I'm giving you a time frame. I'm not giving credit nor detracting from Quentin Shepard, who I liked as an individual. By the way, there were numerous times that I walked into a room and looked around, much as I do with Ted Cruz, and I said, that Dr. Shepard right there, that's the smartest guy in this room. Now, he and I didn't have a lot in common. I mean, he's very politically left. There were a lot of things about Quentin that to say he was woke would be a soft understatement. Yes, thank you. But I look at the results, and I do acknowledge that as much as I absolutely appreciate Super Sheila's energy and the direction that she's taking things, the district was going in the right direction. The personnel were in place. I know people who haven't changed a thing on their campuses, and the process has created great results. And Sheila does benefit from that. Her timing was really good to come in. And there's nothing wrong with saying Sheila came in and didn't screw it up. But what she also did was invigorated. I think her energy is contagious, and the community has gotten right behind it. And I'm going to read this blind. I'll tell you what, I'm going to read two of them blind. I've not read these, so just bear with me. I don't know what they're going to say. Julie Fletcher says, I have followed the workings of the Bond Action Committee, watching the meeting posts online.
Thank you, Julie.
If people will take the time to educate themselves and think like a we, not a me, anyone with reasonable intelligence will see what a smart plan the bond proposal actually is. All right, Julie, thank you. And I don't disagree, but thank you for that. Now, Keith Madden says, by the way, hi, Keith. Probably see you this weekend at the Warriors weekend deal. Just curious, because it's a real possibility. What's the plan for maintenance of existing buildings if the bond doesn't pass? Surely there's a contingency plan in this case. Have not heard anything in this regard. Is there a prioritized plan for existing available budget dollars?
Absolutely. And that plan has existed for right around 2 years now already. So about 3 years ago, VISD made a great decision, hired Mr. Lenny Gonzalez, who's the maintenance director.
Tell folks about Lenny's background and what he does.
Lenny's in the Navy, or was in the Navy. He was fantastic. He came in, big search to go find a experienced maintenance director that could facilitate a maintenance plan and execute it. And, because again, you have aging structures, aging and infrastructure that needs maintenance.
You need a spreadsheet with planned obsolescence, right? We've got to buy so many buses next year, et
And
cetera.
so if you think back, and of course, it's hard to think back sometimes, but if you think back, there was a couple of bonds in 2020. Parts of them didn't pass. Mission Valley passed. But an engineering study, an in-depth engineering study was performed and done in 2019, and that was part of the 2020 bonds, the proposals. And so that studied every structure. And I mean, it's detailed. It's
right.
It's as tall as you when you stack all the books. Okay. So that was his starting point when the other bonds didn't pass. He said, let's go and dig into these and create a plan, maintenance plan, preventative maintenance, replacement programs, do all this. And so that plan has been in place. Hence, jump 6 years forward, 2026. Now there's a bond. So for 5-6 years, that plan, from the existing engineering documents.
Jonathan Williams says fixing 10 now and 8 later makes little sense. Those 8 would cost much more later than now. I agree. So you got a $240 million bond to touch 18 properties. If you just do 10 of them now for $120 million, and then in 5 years, the other 8 cost you $180 million to touch them. Now you're at $300 million before interest. Torrin Bale says, I have multiple properties, which I pay taxes on. My kids and grandkids are private school educated, but I know the importance of public education, and I voted for the bond. Victoria kids, teachers, and our community deserve what this bond offers. And Torrin pays, home taxes, business taxes. Now, it doesn't surprise me that Torrin did that because Torrin once gave a kidney to a perfect stranger. I mean, he's just that guy.
Oh, wow.
Thank you. I made that up.
Oh, well.
You fell for it.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to hold on to my kidneys.
He is that nice. But yeah, I'm going to ride this kidney thing out.
Yeah. No, but I mean, yes. Do our children deserve a fantastic place to study? Absolutely. But does Victoria? I mean, okay, does Victoria? Do we deserve to look at, buildings or go into buildings and understand that, hey, these are nice places? I mean, the building you're in right now is a fantastic building. It's an old structure
that was redone,
and and it looks great. So yeah, I mean, you can do it the emotional way and do those things, and that's great. And you could do it with the fear mongering, hey, everything's going to crumble and fall down, But honestly, we talked about all this in the BAC. And so Julia, she says she watched it, but she knows, like, we had these discussions and we said, how's the best way? And it was the most practical. Said, let's just lay out the needs.
I've heard people say in this process, well, I don't know why they want to tear down Stroman. It's a perfectly good building, blah, blah, blah. These people that have never, ever been in the building. Never. And the people that went there that are like clinging to it for sentimental reasons are just throwing good money after bad.
Yeah. No, there in 2020, one of the bonds that failed was a demo of Stroman and a new structure. It would have been STEM Middle School at Stroman at that point. That was a $70 million 2020 part of the in 2020 the part of the bond, and it failed. So I mean, okay, if you didn't like it in 2020, why are you going to like it in 2026?
Jonathan Williams says the opposition keeps saying to do a smaller bond. History shows they would vote against that too. So if they told me straight up, I'll give you 200, but I won't give you 240, I might find a way to pare 40 out of this deal. But I might as well ask for it all. What the bond is going to do, either it's going to show Texas and the world, good morning, Trey Molina, that Victoria, Texas is committed to their public education, or it's going to show that we're sitting, we don't care anymore. And,
again, I'll lean back on. We talked about it. We talked about phasing bonds over multiple phases. I'm sure the fight would be the same. And that's
right.
what the BAC said. You're going to have the same fight every time you propose a bond. So we talked about that. We talked about, can we do a smaller one time, let everything start, and then come back 2 years later and do another small one. We talked about that. And again, there's just, how do you make that 15-year plan moving forward if you're uncertain every time you propose something? So
right.
Now there's a plan. There's I think on the mailer that went out from the school district, they did a great parade type magazine mailer that the school district mailed out. There is a 15-year plan for facilities that you can see. There's a master plan, and that's continuing to develop. But again, I say this, and this is the most important part. We as Victorians have local representation. You can be involved and direct your school board members and inform us of your opinions, share your thoughts. And we're very open to it. I think this is probably one of the most accessible school boards that has ever existed. And
no doubt.
It's not my fault. But I am who I am.
Well, not condescending, and I'm so much smarter than you. I know what to do.
Believe me, there's a lot of smarter people than me. But we're going to learn together, and that's what I've always said. I enjoy learning something every day. I field phone calls. I've reached out and made phone calls. Of course, I'm a fan of the show. I watch your show.
We appreciate that.
And when there is dissent, I've reached out, and those folks know that I've called them. So, but I want to hear the opinions.
Amy Mundy here, a longtime proponent of schools and education. She's very active with Victoria College, very active at the legislative level, very pro-school. Amy says, some of our older school buildings have become extremely costly to maintain due to their age. This bond addresses that challenge by replacing or consolidating those facilities and investing in newer schools, the newer schools we already have, designed to last longer, which will ultimately reduce long-term maintenance costs and make better use of taxpayer dollars. It seems good. Let's close down a couple of the older facilities that are just maintenance hogs. Let's move those kids to nearby proximity schools and put the money into those facilities and make sure that they last for decades to come.
There you go. It's a great thought. And Amy's talked about that. She's a member of the Bond Action Committee. She was influential. She was the co-chair of the Bond Action Committee. So she's been a part of that. She's obviously where she works. And she has done a great job communicating exactly what she just said there throughout the entire process.
Glad Amy's invited. I'm used to walking through HEB and getting like, hey, give them hell, Brent. And I get some attaboys, and every now and then I get a boo. I'll get a boo. You guys were wrong the other day. Man, just thank you for listening. There's tens of thousands of you that listen. And we appreciate it, especially here on the No Bull Network. All the surrounding counties, we may be talking about what's going on in Victoria, but I promise you, the same fight, the same battle is going on in your community over school money. Yeah. So we love having you listen, and hats off to Amy Mundy for being involved in the process and being willing to take the heat. Yeah. Giving back to the kids is not always popular. You would think it would be. Everybody wants to help the kids unless it costs them $1.
Speaking of kids, mine got to get to school. But I'll say this. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for allowing the flow of conversation. Thank y'all for giving people an outlet. And it's a great place to hear and listen and see what's going on. And then just go exercise your American right to go vote and decide. But do us all a favor, inform yourself, know where the battles lie.
Right.
The property tax battle doesn't lie with us as a school board. It may, lie with the state because that's their system. We just operated it. So we've got to do what's legal, and we've got to do what's available.
Absolutely. Let's take a break, and I'll come back with some final thoughts. Thank you, sir.
Y'all.
Good to see you. Yes, folks, real quick, Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Palace inviting you to come in, play games, have fun, eat at the L&L Grill, and help 7 local charities. Maybe we could get VISD on that charity list. We just get them and get them some of that Palace money. Chestic Furniture, Chestic and Love, make your house a home. Get by today and check out all the accoutrements. That's my ode to Ash for the day. Bobby Leon and his family can help you decorate your walls, decorate your halls, side tables, beautiful furniture, all kinds of offerings. You can specify, I want American-made furniture. The chopping block, Wacky Wing Wednesday, but it's been Wacky Wing Wednesday all week. Get into the chopping block and see what's going on. They've got all types of meats and things that you want. They will take care of you. I got one more I got to do here. Let's see. If I type that into the computer, I can come back to us and tell you a couple things. One is I've heard people say things like, well, if Sheila saved $3.5 million over 10 years, that's $35 million with no interest. Why don't we just use that money to fix our schools? We can. I would personally rather use that money to pay our teachers personally, if there is actual savings. I also wish that our state legislature, since we have this huge tax surplus every year, I mean, it's in the billions of dollars. I wish that our legislature would allocate some of that to various school districts. When you have, 240 million would get the job done. That's $250 million. And we're a large district, relatively speaking. We are. That money's just sitting in Austin doing nothing. I don't understand why our money, your money, is sitting in Austin, and we are going to have to take out further debt that will be compounded with interest. But again, these are all valid points, right? All taxation is theft. The group in the past kicked the can down the road. The legislature has excess funds. None of those things fix the problems we have right now. The First State Bank of Louise Astros update. Astros lose last night 5-3 to the Orioles. Once again, the Astros out-hit the Orioles. Just didn't score very many runs. Bryce Matthews goes 3 for 4 with a home run, a double, 2 RBIs. But Gunnar Henderson, shortstop for the O's, goes 1 for 3 with a double, a walk, 2 runs, and a stolen base. Astros lose 5-3. The Astros now 11-19. You've heard me say before, and of course been right, or I wouldn't bring it up if I was wrong. The Astros are the team that could run off a 20-game win streak. Not this year. Not unless they acquire some pitching. Spencer Arrighetti has pitched very well of late. Yainer Diaz added a couple of hits yesterday for a guy that hasn't been hitting. I'm a Christian Vasquez fan. I'm hopeful that the Astros get it together just to make the summer months interesting. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. Special thanks to Micah Patton, school board president of the Board of Trustees. Thank him for being here. Thank him for being accessible and willing to take the heat. Many of your comments today were pro-bond. Greg Garcia raised a question, but very few people were anti-bond. I don't know. It's easy to vote to spend other people's money. I've been accused of it. I pay a lot in taxes as well. I just feel like as a public school product of a mother that worked her entire career serving the public schools, I feel like we owe it to the kids. It's not pleasant. We do things every day for our kids that are expensive and many of which seem more ridiculous than this. I hope that we will pull together as a community and invest in our community. I wish you guys nothing but the best of a day. Do go by Veracruz today. Commander Cody, always a joy to have you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for being here. And you folks have a good day. We're gone. Bye-bye.